Trevor intro gone. Oh, we've been on mic the whole time. People can hear us. I didn't say anything rude about people, did we? So that's good. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's Voice from the Baltic Star. Those of you that have tuned in will have heard us rambling on, thinking we were off mic for the last however long. Luckily, we weren't rude about any of you. So, you got to glimpse behind the curtain and hopefully heard that we're relatively decent people. So, all the more of a reason to stay. I know. We'll make that an extra. We'll put when we send out the whole season. We'll package that in with it to Netflix when we get the rights. Exactly. But the whole episode is a blooper generally when you and I are involved, Ewan, at least. So it's just incredibly true. So welcome, dear friends and dear new viewers. Thank you for joining us this evening. It's Friday night, and on Friday night, when the three of us are all here, we play Traveller, which is a wonderful science fiction game that we love and adore, and is our first true experience together as a group. All those years ago, when we actually used to meet up in person and spill our wine over sheets in front of each other and keep stopping every 10 minutes because someone needed the toilet or to get something or to do something. And we've turned it into this instead, so that you guys can watch too if you so wish. We're going to run a couple of hours this evening, and then we'll have a break at some point in the middle. We always plan to have it in the middle, and then it ends up being with about 20 minutes to go.
That's what usually happens.
Then we have a quick pass at the end. So please stay for as long or short as you want. There's a lot of things you can do in life now, especially since the world has sort of opened up over the last few years again. So we appreciate you being here for any time at all, really. We hope you enjoy it. We hope you get what you want out of it. And if you're listening while you're doing other stuff, thank you so much. We love our lurkers. We love our chatters. If you want to chat, feel free to chat. We'll interact with you if we're not particularly busy at that point. And anything you say, you might find we enter into conversation. Things you say might become canonical in the game because we like to be interactive, we like to be friendly, we like to be welcoming. That's kind of our thing, I guess. There's a red sun there. You can click on the red sun, spend some of your Imperial credits, which you get for free just by watching. You get more if you subscribe. Apparently, they go up quicker. But have a flick. Generally, the more expensive things will interact more powerfully in the game, but nothing of ours is too expensive. Anything that's that dark pink will play some sort of sound. I think I've left the lizards on because we're going through a terrifying ship. So you need the lizards for the ship.
So it sort of feels appropriate.
Yes, you have.
I forgot to turn it down as well. I said I was going to turn it down, and I forgot to turn it down. I can't be dealing with that all night. But for 500, you could clonk, make Stefan have to clonk, or one of us have to clonk something, make Stefan steal something, or make Sarai give a bit of scouting knowledge. Have a flick through, see what you like. There's one thing we leave for 1 credit and 1 credit only, which is I'll drink to that. So if we say something or do something and you want to raise a virtual glass to it, then feel free for 1 credit do that. We don't want to make it expensive for people to make us drink, so we've made it as cheap as we possibly can. Hey, just another guy named Harry. Are you doing well? Yeah, OG Trevor. We play. That's how we first started playing. Ben introduced you and I to it a number of years ago, and we started with that. And then after like I don't know a dozen sessions, he was like, "Hey, now that you've played that, do you want to carry on, or do you want to try this new fancy Mongoose Traveller?" And we jumped and
Jump ship,
quite literally.
Yeah.
We spaced the old Traveller, mainly because we wanted to. We wanted to make our own characters really, so we could start a whole big thing, and we've gone from there ever since. And that first session during lockdown is the first part of this adventure. We've been on the same adventure ever since. So thank you for joining us for this small nugget of time in our large adventure. So anyway, that's enough of that. I'll introduce the other two, and then we'll move on because delaying our time. Hey, Stormbender. Oh, that is really early for you. I'm a bit freaked out that you're this early. Actually, it sent me wonky. I feel like we should be about 4 hours into our session by now. But anyway, here we go. My name's Luke. Hello. I'm in the bottom right-hand corner. This thing's behind me because I still don't have curtains in my new house, and I'm still terrified that his face is going to suddenly appear in my screen. Not there where it should be, but there where it's terrifying.
It's a surprisingly common nightmare.
It really
One
is.
day, I'm just going to sneak out. I need a cardboard cutout of myself first, so you think I'm still here.
Oh, Ewan's been quiet for a while.
In the diagnostic manual, I believe it's referred as Ewan fenestrophobia.
Does sound about right. One of the top 10 phobias I've heard in life.
Absolutely. Yep.
With good reason.
Exactly. But speaking of this man, there he is. Look directly above me. Ah, there he is. We're not scared of him, are we? We can't be, because he's my brother from another mother. He's the Floofmeister General and the housewife's favourite. The housewives definitely don't fear him. He is the wonderful Ewan. Good evening, Ewan. How are you?
Hi, Luke. I'm good, thanks. I'm very good.
That's what I like to hear. Tell me one pretend thing that could have happened to you today that would have been amazing.
Oh, that's really subjective. I guess it depends on amazing. I had an hour's nap. If it was 2 hours for me, that would have been amazing.
Oh,
that probably says something more about me than it does anything else. But off the top of my head, that's what I go with.
We were all so young once, full of energetic dreams of how to spend our time, and now a nap is the best thing. So anyway, I forgot to say that I play Kara and Soraya in this game. Kara is an artistic computer hacker type. Soraya's a jack of all trades, Han Solo type, I guess. But Ewan's characters are far more interesting and far more wonderful. Why don't you tell us about them?
Oh, you're too kind. They're not really, but I play Agnar Arnson, who is a former military general and medic, the daddy of the group, the Varga, the one with all the fluff. And I also play Stefan Miller, who is a somewhat paranoid, sneaky, slightly more underhanded character, shall we say, who you can get to steal something if you redeem Stefan's sneaky masterclass, and the opportunity presents itself.
Yeah, so please do. Do you have any people making Stefan steal things? Sorry, I was about to send a message to Stormbender, and then they responded with exactly what I was about to ask them, so I'll delete that. Doink. Yes, generally when people have made Stefan steal things, exciting things have happened in the story. So basically, our story's led by you guys. We never make any good decisions because we spend all our time buying mortgages.
That and Clonk.
Clonk's always good as well. Yeah,
the Clonks. Yeah.
But the man that decides what happens after we clonk and after we steal things is the man at the very top. We have to go past this wonderful Ewan and keep on going all the way. It'd be weird if my hand came out there at the top. He is the smartest man in any room. That's why he's at the top. He's at the top figuratively as well as literally. He is the wonderful, wonderful man who lives his entire life in the Twin Peaks dream sequence. He's carried around town in a sedan chair carried by half a dozen topless, heavily oiled Eastern European men, all called Nigel. I think it's because he calls him that himself to make it easier. He is the magnificent Ben. Good evening, Ben. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Very well. Yes, life would actually be much easier if everybody all had the same name, because it would avoid the inevitable fact that I can't remember many people's names. It would genuinely solve a lot of awkward situations for me.
It would. It'd be a bit confusing at times, I guess, but just making it easier for you would probably counteract the whole world being extra complicated.
Yeah. The truth is that most of the time, which Nigel you were talking to would be contextually obvious.
Ah, yes. See, this is why he's the smartest man. He knows these things. So, Ben, I've prattled on a lot, and we're short on time. So please put us back on the straight and narrow, and take us back aboard that magnificent Kelleren.
Okay, so on board the ancient battlecruiser Kelleren, our heroes have found some odd things. Only part of the ship seems to be visible from outside, though much more of it is visible from within. Mostly the ship seems to lack power, but robots running on power cells are at least somewhat active. Some of the crew, at least, are still aboard, though so far they've all been long dead. One robot, which was found in avionics at the front of the ship, tried to take them into custody because they were on the ship without permission. However, it seemed to run out of what little power it had when it attempted to use a weapon to defend itself. The team assembled on the ship's bridge, all together again, and it was there that they noticed that the ship was just a little bit twisted, like it had been buckled or warped subtly. That warping seems to be worse the further aft you look in the vessel. And that is where we resume the story. So, the bridge.
The bridge. Can you describe the bridge for us one more time, please, Ben?
The bridge is a large room, roughly rectangular in shape. It is near the middle of the vessel, just slightly forward of the center, well, a little way forward of the center, and it is one deck above the main companionway deck for the vessel. The vessel, as you go back into it, has multiple decks, but there is one that would count as the main deck, if you like. It is one deck above. It, in almost a throwback to bridges of old and where the term comes from, it actually has entrances from both sides of the of that central spinal passageway that runs down the middle of the ship from fore to aft on the main transfer deck for people, which gives it literally a virtual bridge-like appearance. It crosses that above it. It is buried deep within the center of the ship. This is not a ship with an actual view to the outside from the bridge. It's an important part of the ship for command and control, so they bury it deep inside the vessel where it can't be easily picked off by enemy fire that might hit things closer to the surface. And it contains a series of desks in strictly ordered rows, and in front of them and around them, various large screens to display what's going on outside the ship, essential ship systems, and so on. Each of these desks also have their own digital consoles with their own screens on them, and there are a few floating bodies drifting very gently around the bridge, long dead. There are two large robots at the rear of the bridge, towards the center of the rear part of the head, and they seem completely inactive. And therefore, the only entrances to the bridge are both at the rear, and they are one each side, facing backwards onto these ramps that turn you around a corner as you go down the slope and put you out onto that central passageway, the companionway that runs down the center of the ship.
Stefan, which one of these two robots do you fancy more, the left or the right? Shall they hold a candle to your first great love?
Not really. I mean, they're not moving for one, which doesn't help. But I can't just have you kill my one love interest on this journey and then pick up another at the drop of a hat. It's not. That's not how the heart works, Cara. It's just not. I'll explain it to you one day.
Since when did that man change? The one that tried to trick us out of money when we first met him, took a bigger cut, killed gardeners. He's suddenly become a moral man of the understanding of true love. You truly have evolved and developed over time, Stefan. It's a wonderful thing to see.
Well, growth is important.
Growth is important, especially the hair on your chest. It's been going very well.
Thanks.
Well, you can't help but notice as you run through to the sauna on the Baltic Star. I wish I was back on the Baltic Star right now, though. It's just there's something. It's just not right. I can't. It's like, oh man, like when you're in a dream and the music starts, something. It's all going to go bad. The creepy music starts coming in around the edge of a dream. The old like the start of the old THX sound adverts. It's all weird and wonky. Don't like it.
You raise a good point though. What we also what are we doing now? We found it, right? What's the plan
done.
now? Isn't that what we wanted? We wanted to find it, and we found it. I mean, I'm as interested as the rest of you, but
we have the reality is this is a military vessel. Finding it and reporting it to them is likely to lead to them making an announcement about it, coming to collect it if they can, or destroy it if they can. But I'm thinking artifacts. We need things of value, things that are exciting. I'm looking for things we can sell or show in an exhibition or a traveling tour, things we can do broadcasts with, holding them up and turning them over in our hand and showing us things that are specific to the Kelleren, items that are proof of it, not just its existence, but the unique nature of this particular ship.
So Eileen's over at that point, and she's like, well, you can keep your hands off my Kelleren vac suit that I got. That's mine. I've already seen you guys eyeing it up, trying to pick it up. That's my salvage. First rule of scouting is
I think we may be able to find something even more exciting than an old vac suit.
I don't know. It's all relative, isn't it? It's down to personal opinion.
Also, as a historian, as you know I am, what actually happened here, how the Kelleren got lost, these are questions that we're going to be asked. Me especially, because obviously I am going to be the discoverer.
Well, you're the historian.
I am the historian.
So you should answer all the history questions.
Exactly. But I don't know the answers to those questions yet.
Soraya and I are the financiers, aren't we? So we should answer all the monetary inquiries. Is that right?
Here's a good point, actually. I'm well known for my my high level of financial skills and nous.
We own a business. Have we told you that?
We do own a business. You could we could hire you to go and tell tales of your magical adventures as a special night guest. Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, we'll talk about it when we get off the ship. Maybe hire him.
That reminds me, though, Soraya. I've been meaning to. Do you think we should touch base with them at some point? I was thinking before we get, before we head off on our next mission, if you will, mission, adventure, saga, epic tale. Perhaps we should, just check in with them, make sure they're doing all right. It might be a good time to ask them to send us like their up-to-date financial reports, and we can spend the weeks traveling through space, just giving it a once over, making sure they're doing okay.
It might be a good idea to do it now because it takes, post takes quite a long time to get anywhere. So
well, that's why I brought it up, because it'd be good to have it for that first jump. Maybe when we get back to the Baltic Star, remind me.
That's good. Yeah, I like it. That's good. And I'm glad all this talk managed to take my mind off the terrible situation we find ourselves in. The terrible situation that Otto Nieder's decided that he discovered the ship and not me, pulling 24-hour days staring at blips on screens. He's
Yeah,
swanning
who was the
around.
first person that stepped inside? Because I think the first person inside is the one who gets to claim it. Isn't that right, Soraya? I assume it was you being the scout.
It's the first rule of scouting. Finders,
Hmm.
keepers, losers, weepers.
Who was the first?
I don't know. It's hard to. I think I was the first in the hatch, and you were the first on the ship. I think so. I think we've both got fair cry on that. We'll split it 50-50. 50-50.
I think you'll find that actually it is the person who has been planning, describing, talking, collecting information, following clues for a very long time, and then found a crew willing to take him to the ship, who will probably end up with the majority of the credit.
So if I spend a lot of time and effort and talk lots about every single lost ship, and I find a crew that is willing to take me to them, I get credit for every single one, even if I don't even go there.
No, I think you'd also have to go there.
Okay.
And survive, of course, Agnar. You'd need to survive.
Oh, yeah, well, yes. Let's maybe we'll hold on to who gets the credit until we find out who makes it out alive.
Exactly. It's a very dangerous looking ship.
Which I'm sure we all will.
Ah, we normally do.
I have no doubts.
Good. This is wonderful. This is going really well.
Artifacts, Otto. What about one of those? Agnar gestures over to the two robots.
I'm not opposed to it in concept. I think one of the smaller ones might be more portable, and they seem to be of similar construction.
As they're talking, and I've got to pick carefully who I want to pick here. It's going to be Soraya, if that makes sense. Soraya wants to see if she can get a little bit close to the robot and see if they've got energy cells in them.
Okay.
And to see if the energy cells are removable.
For this, you can use an investigation check or any appropriate electronics or robotics skill.
I've got engineer power. Would that work?
You know what? That will do nicely.
Lovely, thank you.
Everything's removable, Luke, if you've got some breaching charges.
Oh, and I always make sure I've got breaching charges.
Sufficient welly, everything comes apart.
But very good question.
Yeah, it's an excellent question. Can you roll that for me, please? With as it's going to be an engineering check you're doing, can you use education with that?
Yeah, I can. So just +1 in total then. Just forgetting to warm them up. Hang on, just get a little bit sweaty. Okay, that's a good start. An 8 + 1 is 9.
Okay. The two robots both appear to have power cells fitted into them. You're not going to be able to tell just by looking how much charge might be in them, if any. But they both seem to have removable power cells mounted into their chassis. Yes.
Oh. Hey, Agnar.
Yeah.
From one scout to another honorary scout. What do you think?
Official honorary scout.
Yeah. What do you think? I'll get you a new sash. Scouter of Worlds.
Oh, that's good. I like it.
You like it? Oh, yes. What do you think? Do I try and get them out? I'm a bit worried that it might trigger them an alarm to wake them up, as it were. But, I'd feel better if they couldn't do anything. These are big, beefy boys. And, energy cells might be
I'd
useful
imagine. I'd imagine. Say you have to remove one of those for maintenance on the robot. I'd imagine if whilst trying to remove it, if the robot powered up, that would be a design flaw, surely?
Feels like the wrong direction, if anything.
Yeah. It feels like it would not be the best function to have for the robot. I mean, I'm certainly no robotics expert. I don't, to be honest, I don't know much about power cells, but that's my view on it.
Right, decision made. Wait, you lot, cover me.
Do you want me to cover you?
Yeah,
Oh.
please, be helpful.
Okay. Everyone is going to pull out weapons, I take it, and cover the. Are they aiming at both droids or at the one that you're walking up to?
I would like them to. I'll tell you what. I'll say. Stefan, Kara, keep an eye on the other one just in case. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it might get a bit
Yeah,
funny.
sure.
Might react quick if he wakes up getting upset about his buddy getting taken apart.
Okay. And which of the robots are you going to? The one closer to the ramp you came in through, or the other one?
If I remember correctly, there is a Scout's motto about this, but I can't remember if it's left or right, which isn't very helpful. If in doubt,
I want to say left.
Yeah, I was thinking left. Yeah, go left, young man. If in doubt,
Okay.
go left, young man.
Okay, so you want the one on your left, which is the one on the starboard side of the bridge?
Yeah, please, the left side of the bridge. Yeah.
No, the right side of the bridge, your left.
The left side of me, the right side of me, and the left side of the bridge.
Because if you're facing the robots, you're facing backwards.
Ah, we're facing backwards. No, we'll still go left, young man. Our left.
Okay.
Our left is the most important left of all.
All right. So you are going to the one on the left. You cross over the bridge to that point, and as you walk up towards it, there doesn't seem to be any sign of life whatsoever in the robot. You take a look at the power cell. It is mounted in a housing, and the housing seems fairly substantial, fairly sturdy, but the power cell is seemingly, based on the end you can see, similar to the ones you've seen before. They're not huge, but they are, you know, they're like the size of a lightsaber's grip, if you know what I mean. They're not trivial in size, but they certainly aren't enormous either.
Yeah.
In order to remove the power cell, you will essentially have to open the housing itself and then pull the power cell out. So it's a sort of two-part process. If you're happy to go ahead and do that.
I am, but first Sarai will turn back, wink at Agnar and say, plastic or frag?
I'm sorry, what?
Plastic or frag? What will be the best way to get it out? I'm kidding.
Plastic.
Oh.
Yeah, as you were.
Okay.
I noticed how you went for the left one though.
Yes.
Scouting.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I feel like I should lead by example. Now she has on her, and if I'm being I'm going to be realistic in my play here. She carries an electronics toolkit with her. The weight is small, so it's okay. She also has, as you said for ages, a generic toolkit. Now that is heavy, and there's no way she would be lugging around a generic toolkit. So, as a payoff for that, for realism, can we assume that she has a few screwdrivers and such like of the big toolkit? Because theoretically, I could say she's carrying it, but it just doesn't feel storyline.
I think that's reasonable. In order to remove the power cell, you won't actually need tools.
Fantastic.
The device is intended to be inserted and removed freely.
Brilliant.
It's like batteries in a remote control, if you understand.
Yeah.
But there may, of course, be other work you do want to do. I'm perfectly happy for you to use an electronics toolkit to do, most work on a robot.
Thank you. Let's go for the power cell first. I feel like if we get that out, it can't suddenly wake up and slap me.
All right. Can you then please? I'm going to ask you to roll. I think. I think it depends on how you want to do it. Are you going to just try and literally get it out as fast as possible? Or are you going to try and tease it out gently, subtly?
Ooh. Let's try and tease it out, I think.
Okay. Can you make an athletics dex with dex check for me, please?
Oh.
Or if you prefer, stealth with dex.
Ooh. Okie dokie. I shall do either of those things. They make no difference. It's a 0 for either. Oh no, it's important to tease it out from time to time. Oh, this is an awkward one then. Let's have a look. Okay, that is good, I think. That's a 9. Depends how hard the check is, I guess. 9.
Okay. You press open the housing, and immediately on doing so, the power cell just moves out a little bit, just so you can easily get your fingers to the edges of it and pull it out. It's almost as if it's spring loaded, a bit more sophisticated than spring loaded, but essentially when the housing is open, it ejects the first few millimeters of the power cell so you can pull it out easily. And as a sort of gentle process, you start to pull the power cell out. It comes out quite smoothly. There is no sign of life from the robot. None at all.
Is there any way to tell by looking at the power cell the level of power? Like one of those Duracell batteries that you press both ends and the power level goes up?
You will be able to do that using your electronics toolkit. That will include enough basic meterage to give you an idea of the power level.
Cool. As I do that, she'll look over at Stefan. I guess Stefan is the sneaky man with light fingers. Stefan, it's easy. Why don't you have a go on the other one? I'll just check to see if there's any power. Go on, make a name for yourself.
Yeah, okay. Sure. He'll turn to Kara and say, "I don't think this has really been thought through too well." Well, I mean it has. And they'll start fiddling around with the back. But can you imagine, like, if the roles were switched? What was it? Soraya said, keep an eye, make sure this one doesn't wake up, and see me taking apart its friend. Can you imagine if you woke up from unconsciousness from however long with no real idea of where you were, and the first thing you saw was Soraya removing my still beating heart, or whatever the energy source is of a human body? That'd be that's horrific. I wouldn't blame this robot if it saw that and turned on us.
If it was you I saw having your heart ripped out, I'll get over it. Come on, stop stalling.
Okay. All right.
Has to mimic what Soraya's just done.
So Stefan and Kara are facing that robot. Stefan, please go ahead. Tell me how you want to remove it, as carefully as Soraya did with hers, or would you like to, just force it open quickly and try and yank it out as quickly as possible?
He'll copy Soraya. He'll mimic what is at this point a tried and tested method, albeit only once.
Okay. Athletics dex plus dex, or stealth plus dex, please.
Ooh. That is a 6 on the dice, but I did get a +4.
Okay.
Oh, big.
You manage to smoothly draw the power cell out, just as Soraya did. And as far as you can tell, there is no reaction from either robot, at least not yet.
Or power cell.
The power cell is just a power cell. It's a solid lump.
Doesn't start bleeping once you remove it.
Nothing like that.
Faster
Consecutive,
and
like getting
faster
faster
and
and
faster.
faster.
No, it's a glorified battery, and they don't do a lot unless you attach them to something.
Sure. Hey, look at that.
Hark at you, little Mr. Lightfingers. You truly are
Like
the
a
smartest thief.
professional, and he'll try and flip it up and spin it and catch it.
Ah, you always impress. You never
What?
cease to impress me.
What now?
I guess Soraya will sort of look up from starting to check her power cell. If you bring it over here, I'll check mine and check that, see if we've got it. If either have got power, that'd be great to have, because we can always, if we need to slot it in somewhere, we might be able to get something running with it. Hang on, let me finish checking mine, and then I'll check yours next.
All right. Make your engineering power check with your education.
Okay, that's a 7, but it's +1, it's 8.
Okay. The power cell that you have, when you just literally touch the ends to the very basic meter system that you have built into your kit, the most basic of testing tools, nothing sophisticated. It cheerfully reports that this power cell seems to be fully charged.
Jackpot! Fully charged, baby. Fully charged. Look at this. We can fly the ship with this. It's got so much juice.
Can you?
Well, I've flown a ship on less. First rule of scouting is that you've got to be able to fly a ship on an elastic band if need be.
I mean, the good thing is it's space, right? So a couple of turns of the old propeller on the elastic band.
You
And
just keep going.
Well.
Yeah. Stopping's hard, but you keep flying forever and ever and ever if you need to. That's what planets are there for, I guess. Thanks. Hold on, let's have a look at this one. Let's see how good this one is. I guess I'll roll again.
I'm not going to make you roll this one again,
thanks,
because you've successfully worked out how to do it, and it's a routine thing. Once you've worked out where to attach the probes and things, that is also fully charged.
So I will toss it back to Stefan cheerfully. Fully charged, mate. Fully charged. Look at that. We've got so much power in our hands right now. I reckon we could start the ship almost. Come on. Well,
have you done that before?
I've done similar.
With something this big? Is it the same principle?
It's just scaling up, isn't it? Just scaling up. If you
connect them in series, not parallel, or the other way around. I don't know what I'm talking about. I heard those terms were used once.
They get used. That's a good thing about terms. They get used. Oh, anyway, we've got power now. Those robots not scary anymore. How about those, Nida? Now they've got no power. You want to get a photo or something? Do you want to pose next to one? Get a nice snap for posterity? Yeah, get the old peace sign flicked up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, taking some pictures and plenty of video to document your progress through the ship is not a problem.
Cool. Why don't you lean a little bit forward and look like you're holding it up or something with all your power? We'll do some fun poses, Otto. I think you'll like that one, yeah? They'll be nice to show at important meetings and dinners.
The lighter side of history.
Exactly. He's a fun guy. Yeah, he's a fun guy, is Otto.
Look, and Stefan will throw his arms around the neck of one of the robots and try and jump up into whatever kind of appendages it has for arms. See? It's fun.
All right. Yes. The robot immediately begins to move. Um,
Wait, what? I'm sorry. It does what now?
the one that Stefan has just cheerfully jumped onto immediately reacts by moving. It starts to move forwards fairly swiftly away from the rear bulkhead with its top and bottom wheel systems actually braced in this zero G environment. Stefan, can you make an athletics dex with dex for me, please?
Yeah. Carla, help me! I'm being kidnapped.
Hang on, I'll get this. I'll get this on film. Hang on.
That is a 5 plus 4 is 9.
Okay. You can make your choice of either flipping away from the robot and making a safe landing or holding on as you didn't get accidentally hurled across the bridge by its movement.
Well, that is good. He'll hold on long enough to make the comment to Kara and then jump off.
Okay. The robot immediately, as soon as it starts moving forward, and you've just had time to yell out your sort of yell of alarm, it starts saying again in an artificially calm sounding voice, "Emergency borders, emergency borders," and as soon as it begins to make any kind of sound like that or sign like that, the other robot wakes up as well and begins to move. And it, in perfect synchronization, it's like stereo through your radio headsets. You can hear them both on exactly the same cycle saying, "Emergency borders, emergency borders."
Oh God!
Stefan immediately turns to Sir. Oh, what the? I thought you. And he waves the power rod around.
Can you roll initiative, please?
Mm.
Aim at their elastic
Yes,
bands.
indeed. Is that everyone then? Can I take it?
Yes, it will be.
Let's do Stefan first.
Oh, well, that's a 3 for Kara, so she's not having a go anytime soon. Oh no, plus 1 4. She gets a plus 1 4.
Okay. Yep. So Rachel has 5, Kara 4.
No, hang on. What do you add? Is it intellect you add?
It can be your choice of intellect or dex, I think.
Okay, so it's 5 then. Sorry, 3 plus 2 is 5 for Kara.
Yeah, dex
sorry.
or intellect.
Sorry, Kara's
Okay,
5 then.
so
Sorry.
Kara's 5. What's Kara's dex?
8.
Okay, so Rachel goes ahead of Kara. Anyone else?
Stefan's a 7.
Soraya
Okay.
is a 10.
Oh,
9 plus what?
Agnell's a 9.
right, 10. Stefan 7.
Is that your Tommy or the cat?
I think that was the cat. It wasn't me. So hopefully it was the cat and not the robot behind me waiting to come pounce to life.
That's why I'm not moving this. I don't want to look through the window.
Oh, if I had a printer at home, I'd print off loads of robot pictures, scary robot pictures with red eyes.
Oh,
Go and stick them around on your window.
I need to buy some curtains this weekend.
Okay.
There's so many windows.
4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, that's all of them. Okay. First up is Soraya.
Oh my goodness.
What would you like to do?
You know what? I've tried being nice. Let's unload with my Lara's custom Gauss carbine, please. I spent ages trying to read the rules on. I don't get plus 1 because I'm too close for that. But I get another plus 1.
Yep, I think you get a base plus 1.
Yep. And it's,
yes, so that's your gun combat for slug throwers.
Slug, yep.
And your dex, please.
Cool. So it's +1 for slug. Do I get +1 for the gun as well? Do we say? Is that +1? What's that +1 damage?
Yeah,
+1.
that's +1 to hit as well. So
Oh, cool.
it's +2
Yep.
plus your Dex modifier, obviously.
0. Okay, cool. Come on. Look for your lady tonight. 5. Rubbish.
Okay. In your I'm not sure if panic is quite the right word, but in your surprise,
Surprise, definitely.
surprise is probably fairer, I think, than panic, isn't it? Yeah, in your surprise, you you find that the shot you fire goes extremely wild.
Ah. Terrible.
Okay. Next up is let me check this.
And that cost me an ammo.
Oh, that's the painful bit.
I know. It's not the miss.
So yeah, the next up
money.
is Agnar, please.
Wonderful. Agnar's eyes roll in his head and he pulls up his shotgun.
Okay.
How far away are we?
Very close.
Okay, cool. Wonderful, perfect. He will, in that case, can he take aim?
He can indeed. Is he firing a shotgun?
Yes, he will be.
Can you roll an athletics dex with dex for me, please?
Yes. I better get this right because his athletics dex is not as good, but he does have a 0. That's a 10 + 2 for dexterity is a 12.
Excellent. Okay. Yes.